hand on and close. He's pulling, oh boom! I'm hurting my own fingers. Most important. Let's talk about healthy gripping for Jiu-Jitsu and Judo. Now look, all of Jiu-Jitsu and Judo is that we grab our partner or opponent, and a lot of it is grabbing of fabrics. And I've heard many times in my life that you just will hurt your fingers, right? And if you Google like Jiu-Jitsu fingers, you see some fucked up fingers, like with the knuckles that wide. And I had even somebody tell me, after looking at my hands, like, yeah, if you do Jiu-Jitsu for 5 or 10 years, you will have fucked up fingers. Unbeknownst to him, I did 20 years of Jiu-Jitsu and my fingers are still very healthy. I could totally try to play the piano if I just wanted to. And to me, that's a big part of having a good grip. Now, it's not just about how strong am I today or in a year. If my game is based on abusing my fingers and I have a good Jiu-Jitsu for 5 years and then I have bad fingers for 50 years, then that's a bad strategy long term. So let's talk about good gripping, healthy gripping. That's going to be a short one because there's not so much to say. It's just some basic principles that will help you if you accept them as helpful. Okay, first of all, I'll need to try and grip, right? So you can practice it to have a good and healthy grip. So you just pop, and you got a grip. Hand on and close. Okay, you need to train your fingers. We will talk about that later. And the next principle is that if I grip, at some point I will need to be able to release that grip. So if he pulls real hard, that was like baby, I'll just let go. And I need to be able to let go without hurting my fingers. So to me, one of the major mistakes that people do is they kind of wind up their fingers into the gi of the other, and when he then wraps his arm real hard, they hurt their freaking fingers because of two mistakes. First, they do not train their fingers enough. And second, they rely on tying the fingers up instead of relying on strength of the fingers. So I most always use that kind of grip from the bottom or from the top. You see me just holding, right? And I know a strong grip is one of the most important things for any kind of jacket grappling. But think about if he pulls so hard that I would hurt myself on my fingers. Not only is it an injury risk, but most of the times it's technically, and not technically, in German, in English would be a different word. It would, from a technical standpoint and viewpoint, it would be more valuable for me to let go and let him disbalance himself, right? So if I'm trying on that arm and he starts pulling, not too hard, he just starts pulling on the arm, right? And I'm trying to resist. Now it's just strength against strength. And probably he's gonna be stronger than me. At some point he will be. If I'm fighting somebody twice my size, he will be stronger. And my whole strategy of just holding on to it is futile. Or at one point, if I'm lucky enough, I will be an old man. And what am I gonna do? Just hold on to the gi of a guy half my age? It's gonna be stupid. But what I'm gonna do is I'm trying to pull, he's pulling, oh boom! And he's off balancing himself. And to me that's a general rule. If somebody's pulling real hard, so much that I would need a lot of strength, it's better to just let go. Right? I'm trying to hold the arm and he's trying to pull real hard and I'm like, well, thank you. Right? It's so simple. And it's the same everywhere. Look, I'm trying to hold on to the gi and there's several ways to break the grip, right? Do you know a way to break the grip? Okay? Maybe he's pushing against my fingers like wham, boom. I just let go. It's so simple. Because if all his focus, his concentration is on breaking the grip and he expects me to resist, right? And if he just pulls on my hand and I just let go, it offers me an opportunity to attack. That's just the number one principle, right? We're on the floor, I'm trying to, to hold his pant, and now it's a choice, okay? I'm just rolling in my fingers a bit. And when he kicks back his leg, let him kick back the leg. You know, I'm gonna do something else, okay? But if I'm holding onto it too hard and he's kicking back his leg and I'm hurting my own fingers, two things can happen. I'm injured, I'm losing the fight. I'm not injured right away, but I'm breaking my fingers in time and will not be able to do the same thing for years to come. Maybe in 5 years I will need to relearn Jiu-Jitsu from scratch just because I destroyed my fingers. Or I'm just gonna get tired. Because how long can my fingers fight against the strength of his leg? How useful is it really to try and roll my fingers in and hold on to it as much as I can? That's also the reason why I do not play spider guard at all. You know, I know it's a valuable strategy. I'm not talking down on it. I'm just saying it's fucking stupid. You know, it's just my strength against my strength, trying to like crucify him up here. And if there's no time limit, you know, I'm just gonna get tired. Yeah, maybe I can tap him out, maybe I can play for a couple seconds, but I'll totally abuse my finger joints to a point that is not the smart thing to do long term. So I'm gonna use very, very different gripping strategies, always based around the principle of using as little finger strength as possible, having my fingers aligned and closed. Okay, also I do not spread my fingers, having your fingers aligned, and if possible having the thumb closed as well. That is also what I call shovel grip, is what I use in no-gi as well. If any time possible I'll try to grab like this, because again, most of the times I'm just trying to exert force one way, right? So if I'm trying to pull on his arm and I'm using a shovel grip, his arm can go this way, but I don't care. Why should I? You know, if I hold like this and he's rotating this way, it's probably gonna hurt my thumb. And what for? I can't resist, right? I'm not strong enough to resist his motion that way, and I shouldn't. Why should I? Why should I block him from putting his hand there? Or, can you go back for a moment? In an Americana, you know, many people use this kind of grip, right? And it's a weak grip. Like this, he can totally just extend his arm if he wants to. He doesn't want to, that's not extension, boom. But if I roll my hand over and use my thumb in a shovel grip, then it's like, yeah, it's like a vice. So any time that I can, I'll use that cupped kind of motion in my hand, that shovel, to grab. If I'm trying to go for an ankle pick, I'm using this kind of grip. I'm not trying to grab like so, right? If I'm trying to grab the wrist instead of the sleeve, I'm using that one. Why should I grab your wrist like this? To stop your arm from going up? Why should I care if your arm is going up at all? I don't. So I'm here, the only way your arm can go is to the outside. Mind, why should I? If I'm trying to pull your arm, that's the way to go. Not like so. Why thumb spreading? So it's all centered around keeping your fingers closed, using the tip of your finger in a strong way, and holding in a way that you can release if uke, or your opponent, is exerting so much force that you would need to use strength. Anytime that I need to use strength and he's pulling so hard, I let go and I go for something else, because he's creating an opening for myself. And that's how my fingers stay totally healthy, even after 20 years of Jiu-Jitsu, and I hope that it will stay healthy for many, many years to come. So it's a lot of talk, but it's a lot of importance on it as well. You need to grip in a way that your fingers will stay healthy. The main goal of a fight is come home uninjured. If you injure yourself, then you lose something in a fight. If you go home uninjured, then even if a referee says you lost, you didn't. It's just his decision, it's just his viewpoint. But it's not necessarily the objective truth. Just stay healthy, keep your fingers healthy, think about that you will need to be able to fight for many, many, many years. Okay? Stay healthy, stay strong, train your fingers. I made a video also on finger strength and finger training. Check that out as well, and see you next time.